Welcome back to Texas Car Dads. In this video, I'm going to reveal to you what I think is the best sounding exhaust from my Dodge Challenger Scat Pack. Alright, so I've owned my Dodge Challenger for almost a month now. And just like anybody else, when you own a performance-oriented vehicle, one of the first things that you start doing is looking at mods. Now, one of the first mods that you might consider is exhaust. That's normally where my head goes, is I always look at exhaust first, because normally the stock exhaust is not usually the best sounding. There are some cars out there with a really good sounding stock exhaust. In my opinion, the Dodge Challengers, Chargers, Durangos, they sound okay in a stock, but they are not the best sounding. So, of course, I have been out there doing my research and trying to figure out which is the best sounding exhaust, in my opinion, for this car. Now, I have spent weeks on the internet doing research and listening to videos and audio clips. And I've looked at several different brands and I narrowed them down to a few. So I've been looking at Borla, really great. The ADX are really great sounding. They have a lot of good reviews. MBRP, I've ran them before on my Mustang. That was a really good sounding car with that exhaust. AWE, I also ran that on the Corvette that I used to have. Also a really great sounding setup on that car. But when it comes to the Dodges, I have been mixed on where exactly I want to go on the exhaust on this car. Also to mention, one exhaust that I've been looking at is from a company called Valvetronic, and they actually have two different versions for this car. They have a stainless steel version and they have a titanium version, which can get pretty pricey. I think it's almost $4,000 if you go for the full titanium version with the built-in valves. From what I understand, it sounds fantastic. If you've never heard a titanium exhaust, that is a really great sound. But ultimately, that is a lot of money to spend on the exhaust for a daily driven Challenger. Now, considering a few things. A, I want the car to be loud, but not too loud. Also, I don't want it to drone too much into the cab. I want to be able to have a conversation with the person sitting next to me. Also, it needs to be very well built. But at the end of the day, it also needs to have a really good tone under load. When I step on this thing, I want everybody in the car with me and everybody 3 miles around me to know that I am getting into the pedal on this car. So, with that being said, I think I have found the perfect exhaust for my car. Now let's get into what exactly that is. Okay, and so here it is. So you may notice this is not anything fancy. This is not MBRP. This is not Borla. This is not Flowmaster. This is the stock exhaust minus the mufflers. And that's it. So this is producing an amazing sound. Now, I do think, as you can see from these welds here, these do not look like factory. I think these are some kind of aftermarket resonators, but I cannot find a logo or stamp or anything on them anywhere. So I believe this was done by a local exhaust shop. I think I mentioned before in this video, this car has never left Central Texas, so this had to be a local shop. Welders, comment if you think that's a good weld job or not. I do find this a little comical. This had to be something that they just had lying around, and they use this just to brace these pipes together. But yeah, for the most part, this looks like a factory exhaust. It's definitely factory cats to the down tubes. I don't know if these pipes are factory. No. But yeah, no mufflers, just flow through resonators, as you can see here. And that is the setup. Okay, so now that I've shown you what the exhaust is, I'm going to go for a quick trip down the road, and we're going to grab some clips of the exhaust under load, at idle, but also doing a launch and just try to give you some different views of what exactly this exhaust sounds like, and just, you know, make an opinion for yourself. All right, good morning. It's about 6 a.m. It is a balmy 47 degrees here in Texas. And this is the cold start video for my exhaust. Okay, so I really hoped you enjoyed the clips of the exhaust. Like I said, at the end of the day, in my opinion, this is a really good setup for this car in particular. I love the way this thing sounds. I love the fact that it does not drone while I'm driving, and it's just a really good setup for everyday use. Now for you, I would recommend do your research, listen to audio clips, look at videos, figure out kind of what you want your car to sound like and what kind of setup that you want to go with. If you can, try to find people in your group, in your circle, buddies, friends who own a car that is similar to yours and maybe have different exhaust setups, and formulate your own opinion and hear it in the real world. That is the hardest thing. Is you can go off video clips on YouTube, but ultimately you're not going to get that real world feel and sound from actually experiencing an exhaust note on a car in real life. All right, before we roll out, just one more clip of getting on it. Oh, sounds so good. It's just a great sound. It's not too raspy. It has a really good deep tone. Okay, thank you again for tuning in to Texas Car Dads. Please like and subscribe and share if you feel so inclined. I hope you have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next time.